Welcome to the Creative Connections podcast, connecting creatives and geeks all over the planet, one tiny podcast at a time, once a week. We are grateful to be sponsored by several software tools sold in our tech shop at Cre8tivConnections.tech. Check it out today and see what new tools we have for your business or creativity. And now, here is your hostess of Creative Connections, putting hashtag art and apps on the map, Stacy Braiuca.
Okay, I'm ready to go, one way or the other. Thank you, whoever's getting to watch. I see there's some 3 people in there watching. I'm jumping right in. Welcome to Creative Connections. We're connecting geeks and creatives all over the planet. And I have an amazing creative with me today. Vickis 20-plus year business owner. She's bought and sold multiple businesses. She's a multipreneur. She's the vice president of her direct sales company. An amazing business coach. I know that personally. Rockstar Mama is what I call her. Even though, well, how old were you when you had me then? That must be, we're about 1 when you had me. But since you're 21, no, I'm 21. That makes you 22. That makes you 22, right? She also is a mama to 2 amazing young men. Developer of the first weekly streaming podcast on Facebook Live. Best-selling author and author of The Amazing Rockstar Guide to Getting It Done, which you're going to hear a lot about today. So, Miss Vickis, how in the world is you, Rockstar Mama? You are very welcome. So, I have a question for you. So, since you were the first to develop and produce a popular set of live streaming podcasts on Facebook Live, can you tell me how come that the week somebody decides to go live on a podcast, their face breaks out, their equipment goes fritzy, and Facebook starts messing with their introductions because they have live music that is like copyrighted, but you have permission not only from the artist but from the record company. And yeah, Tuesday I was freaking out. I am not sure. Have you checked your microphone in Aperion? Under the settings. Hey, this is a live podcast. It's gonna be because I could hear her. Uh-huh. Let's try. All right, let's see if anything's different now. Is anybody hearing Vicky different now? Can you hear me now? Hello? And all else fails, I'm going to do a refresh. No, I can't do a refresh. No. This is what I was worried about. And actually what I just did, now I can't use my mouse. We can totally start over. So anybody who's here, hang out this direction and watch for another one. I am going to have to actually totally reboot my system to have it work. So, Vicky, you can hang out in the room if you want. I will be right back. Because Techy Girl has to have... Techy Girl does have to have issues. That's okay. Let's go back and restart the... Oh. We're here. So I am going to play the intro again and do my intro just real quick. And Tanika, thank you. Mom, thank you. Lindsay, thank you. Can you guys hear Vicky now? I should have done the pre-show green screen thing that I thought about doing. It didn't work. Can you hear on the second device you have going on? Oh, okay. Is anybody who's in the chat, can you let me know if you can hear Vicky, please? Can you hear Vicky? Can you hear me? That's Lindsay. Vicky, it might be... Mm-hmm. Do you see settings in Appear and which one it... Well, no, that can't be right. Okay, hang on. You could. I'm going to try this.
I'll just dance until we get it figured out.
I'm going to try that. Anything different?
You're trying something new?
Yeah, I'm trying something else. Hi, Forrester. Forrester's my cousin in Scotland.
We can't hear you, Stacy. I mean, you're way far off. It sounds like you're like in another room.
Because I moved the mic.
There you go. Uh-huh. And I can hear me echoing.
Yeah, that's...
Okay.
You hear me?
Oh, wait. You hear me? Say, I hear V. You hear Vicky. Okay. You hear me now? Right now? Yes? No. Or you can only hear me when they heard the echo. Can you guys hear me now? Hi, Forrester. Can you hear me now? I know I'm dancing. I'm trying to keep you guys entertained. Wow, she's loud now. I'm loud now? Like, still?
Is she echoing is the question. Sorry about that. I had to change my microphone. Did that make any difference?
I still hear you. It was interrupted. You're back. I'm back. Okay. So can you guys hear both of us now? Can you hear both of us? Put a 1 in the chat box if you can hear both of us.
And put
1.
No.
If you can hear.
Well, that would be 2.
If you 1, no, if you can hear both of us. Like not just, otherwise.
If you can hear both of us, put a 1.
No echo. No echo, but it's loud. Okay. Both of us?
Are both of us loud, or are there any echoes?
Yes. They said they can hear both of us. We're just really loud. I can whisper, or you could turn the volume down. I don't know.
I turned the volume down.
Okay. Oh, yay. They can hear both of us. I have no idea what's different, but hey, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging with us,
I know what's
right?
different. And you know what? I'm just going to keep rolling because I'm going to just edit this out later.
Okay. Perfect.
You know?
I say it's a good blooper reel for later. Like when you're super famous, you can go, oh yeah, we totally blooped it up on my first show. Whoop,
Yep. Vicky came in. I knew there'd be something. I was ready for it. My anxiety disorder normally would have thrown me through the roof with something like that. But
we're all good.
As I was saying, this woman right here, super coach.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying. I met Vicky on Blab 2 years ago, almost a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
A year and almost 2 years ago. No, it was 2 years ago. I've got stuff from Blab.
Wow.
And then a year ago, she was right in the middle of helping me work through what do I want to be when I grow up? Because, you know, I'm not grown up yet. So, all right. Me get myself back on track. So since we have all that out of the way,
okay,
I want to say how incredibly honored and blessed I am to have you on the show, on my debut show for Cre8tive Connections.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
And in the interest of full disclosure, as you know, but our viewers and listeners may not know, that you were my business coach last year and crucial in my development of the foray and starting as an entrepreneur and figuring out what that meant and how to think that way and like change my mindset and all that fun stuff. And you helped me change, and you helped me plant some seeds that like stayed in the ground this past winter. And they're starting to like come out of the ground and go, hey, what's going on? You know, and they're starting to come out, you know? So, one of those things is this show. And, as I shared with you, my dream with the show is to connect creative people with techie people.
Sure.
And techie people with creative people in lots of different ways. And the first thing that I wanted to do is start with the people who've inspired me. So that's why this is interview one of a series, and it's, you know, inspired by the best. So the people that have inspired me, in either in creativity, in technology, or in what they're doing in productivity or in business, and kind of bringing that together.
Awesome. Well, again, I feel honored to be here as part of your, you know, certainly your debut broadcast, as well as, you know, being an inspiration in your life, because you are a very easily coachable person. You know, you have a desire to learn and to be and to grow that is amazing. And that's why I'm sure you've connected with so many other people as well in the space of live streaming and the space of technology. And, you know, the super geeks and the super creatives that are, you know, you happen to have those two things combined. And so being that bridge and being able to pull everybody together, I think is phenomenal.
Now, there may be a few people in chat who might disagree with that statement, namely Mom. She might disagree with the coachable part, or she may have questions about that.
I didn't say it was easy to parent her. There's a difference between parenting and coaching, for sure.
Oh, truth. Okay. I definitely was not and still am not always easy to parent.
I probably wasn't so easy to parent either. I'm just saying. I mean, we're going to be in the, you know, in full disclosure, I probably was not the easiest child to control.
Well, let's see. Because, you know, if you were 2 when you started your first business, because I said 20 plus years, if you were 2 when you started that first business, and that's really not far off. Am I right?
Well, 12. I was 12. And so I, you know, 10 years is pretty, it does seem like a very small segue there, certainly from 2 to 12. But, you know, it's when you have an idea, when you're ready and you believe in yourself, it's amazing what you can do in a short period of time when you don't allow other people's doubts to creep into what you're doing. You know, cause it's, as we get older, if we don't protect ourselves from that bully in our head that tells us that we can't do it, then, you know, we can do amazing things. And it's, you know, that's one of the benefits and beautiful things about working with people that want to change and learn is that they're willing to evict the bully.
You got to get rid of the bullies. I did find that was one of the biggest things I found out, and found out that I had bullies that I didn't know were still there.
Right.
So like lots of things like that. One of the things is I wanted to ask you is, you know, kind of, you know, you've got bullies and productivity and growth.
Yes.
How have you mixed your creation of those things together? And if any, how does technology play a part in that?
Well, that's a really good question. I think that the creative side of me is what built the course. Like, for instance, in the productivity, I run 4 companies. I have built and sold 4 companies of my own. For those people, I know they couldn't hear in the beginning. I think they heard you, but, I've built and sold 4 companies. I've taken the creative energies, part of it, I was a top 10 internationally in sales and recruiting in my first direct sales company as well, which is Creative Memories. And so we did scrapbooking and we did graphic arts and different stuff. And so I started being able to take that creative piece of me to develop things and then to see it in a structural format of why other people were struggling, why they create. Because I used to call myself Miss Non-Creative Memories. I mean, because I didn't feel creative. I didn't feel like that was my skill set, but that was partly the bully in my head because I was looking to make them better. And like I was supposed to do these super multi-layered crazy things that some of these people would do. And, I started looking at some scrapbook magazines and people are using hinges and this stuff and making these 100-pound albums. And I thought, oh my gosh, like I felt like, is that what we're supposed to be doing? And then one day a friend had cleared it up, since we're kind of talking this creativity, allow me a little leeway to get back to what you're asking, is that, she said, done is better than perfect and done is better than creative. And it was so freeing because I was this person and I love scrapbooking. I've loved it since I was a kid. But when I was a kid, like I just did whatever I did and stuck it in. And then, I wasn't judging it or looking at it. But then when all the scrapbook industry kind of sprouted and we had die cuts and stickers and this and that, all of a sudden I found myself wanting to use them because they're fun, but getting lost in the minutia and ended up, where I would come out after 12 hours, I've got 2 pages done and I'm bursting into tears saying I'm never going to be able to catch up because I just can't do it. And so when she said that done is better than perfect, done is better than creative, I was like, you know what? It's true. And it actually is what spurred me on to being the top in the world. It's because I started with this philosophy of if I'm struggling with it, someone else is struggling with it. So how can I break this down into an opportunity, into bite-sized pieces where people can do it? So again, as you look at my entrepreneurial journey, what are the key indicators in that business was time, money, and space. Those are the 3 things that people always said, I don't have time, I don't have money, and I don't have enough space. So I came up with a system called the 15-minute focus to deal with the time issue. And I worked on my albums 15 minutes a day. I worked on using the products we have to create a vertical set of items that you could do your scrapbooking in a 2x2 area. And as for money in the direct sales industry, we have an opportunity, of course, for you to earn free products as well as, getting some discounts on other things. So I took the 3 pain points, I alleviated them and started teaching custom classes and custom things that were they were a market separator. As you know, I teach about market separators. They were different than everybody else. And like I said, I was top 10 in the world in sales and recruiting, for more than 10 years. Why? Because I took the pain points. I stopped letting the bully in my head telling me this wasn't right. And done is better than perfect and done is better than creative. I created an album that I got done, an entire album in 2 hours. And I reminded people of why the things they were worried about, that I said, okay, I want you to picture this album really quick as your great-great-grandmother's. Okay. And people go, oh, okay. Open it up and start looking. Now, are you looking in there going, wow, wasn't Granny creative with her die cuts and stickers? Or are you going, oh, where's my grandma? Oh my gosh. Is that my grandpa? Oh my gosh. That's my great. We're diving into the people and we dive into the message, not what's there. So I started teaching people to have the freedom to just do a naked album, which is just pictures and journaling, And then I would teach them to enhance with a little bit of paper if that's what they wanted and how to group, and then just layering those pieces on, but giving them the freedom of how to group task and how to crop all the pictures at once. And so it pulled that creative side and it pulled my systematic side together to an entrepreneurial level that I was able to start training and developing people all over the world on how to do the same thing. So I know that was a roundabout way of getting there, but I think that's what you're looking for is how do you tie these pieces together? And then the technology, of course, came later as we did digital stuff and how I've taken those pieces now and then converted that same concept of layering, like I told you in the Rockstar Guide to Getting It Done, of layering things and group tasking to execute daily activities for tasks. And so that's, like I said, hopefully
and that's
that
a beautiful, it's a beautiful segue, because what I heard you, like, you were that I love the done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. Done is better than creative.
And one of the things I learned as a baby social worker, because those of you who may or may not know, that's my education and training for 20 years, is I've been a clinical social worker for 20 years. And one of the first things I learned that I still teach students is it's called social work practice, not social work perfect, for a reason.
Right.
So you practice whatever it is you practice. You can practice law, you can practice business, you have a business practice, you have a whatever, and it's practice for a reason, not perfect for a reason. Now, did that stop me and stall me into wanting to make sure my podcast today was going to be perfect or not? Or to even do one? At one point, it stopped me from even doing something like this. And it's taken me that winter's year, time of getting my courage up and saying, no, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it on April 20th. And here we are.
Boom. That's right.
Yeah. So,
I love it.
the do it. And then I'm glad you mentioned the Rockstar Guide to Getting It Done, because that has been a huge catalyst for me. Aww. So let me set the stage for you guys. I said, Vickis was my business coach. She introduced me to the Rockstar Guide. Excuse me. Yeah.
Squirrel here.
More about the squirrels in just a second, because she's right. So she introduces me to the Rockstar Guide to Getting It Done right about July or August last year, because there were squirrels running around my office and they needed to be caged. Vicky wanted me to
not physical squirrels. These are mental squirrels, just so anybody just popping in.
Or if you're listening, yeah. So there's squirrels running around my office, and Vicky's like, you got to get the squirrels under control. You got to get rid of the squirrels. And I'm like, I'm not getting rid of my squirrels. I'm not going to get rid of them. I love my squirrels. They make me happy. They provide me they're creative squirrels. They do all sorts of stuff. Some of them are the techie squirrels. Some of them are the creative squirrels. Some of them are just the anxiety. Well, I got rid of the anxiety squirrels. They moved on to a new house and they're good. But the other squirrels, I had to do something with them. So she's like, you got to check this out. You need to do this. And this is your assignment. In other words, you're doing this or you're not in coaching with me. So that's what we did. She showed me this thing, and it kicked my productivity that I was doing. And those of you who know me in person know that 2 years ago, I was working 8 part-time jobs basically, and trying to get some things started. I had ideas of what I wanted to do in business, but I wasn't there yet. 1 year ago, I was working 6 part-time jobs and doing it. Today, I am working 3 main part-time jobs, 1 sometimes, and I'm only working those 2 days a week. The rest of the week is Stacy's to work on my stuff. The only reason that I have done that is I'm changing how I look at all of my, of everything in the world. So I want you guys to hear from Vicky what this Rockstar Guide to Getting It Done is. And then I'm going to tell you what else I did with it.
Okay. Well, for those of you guys who don't know, the Rockstar Guide to Getting It Done, Stacy has shared some of my past, because like I said, I started a first business at 12 and I bought my first house at 19. And then I went on to my first business with employees when I was 20. I became a serial entrepreneur as I started seeing, things, grow and develop. When I sold that company and I went to work actually for my husband for a little while, which is why I sold it. He wanted me to go run a division of a publicly traded company for him. So I started doing that, but again, always knowing where my heart was. And when we left there to start another one of our companies, I also started in the direct sales industry because of, being pregnant, wanting to have a child. I told him when I get pregnant, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's what I wanted to do. But I also knew I had so much energy that I would, twiddle my thumbs while the baby was sleeping, right? I needed something for sure to do. And so as that came through, I had enough energy and enough time and enough business acumen to be able to add on other businesses. As you know, I'm a big proponent of you do a business until you've got it running in autopilot, and before you add something else on. When it's running in autopilot and you have this, when you have the people that can support it, and then you just have to do a management and check it out, and you
don't run all of them at once.
You don't start them all at the same time. That's what that's spraying your talent all over the place, and it's not as effective as the laser beam. So as you build up that
Squirrels everywhere.
When it's ready to execute, then, and everything's going fine, then you can add something else on. But so as I was adding these additional businesses on, I recognized that there's a productivity map that I would use, because people kept saying, how can you run 4 companies? And then we found out, our second child ended up having, he has Asperger's. And so he has a few special needs of communication and stuff. He's very high functioning. Most people don't even recognize it, but as a mom, it's our job to really understand, especially the creative aspects of our children, because sometimes people quelch it, sit down, be quiet, don't daydream, don't do this. And so, I needed to be able to nurture that, and running companies and taking care of a family is challenging. But people kept saying, how do you do that? I mean, how do you do it? And I was like, well, this is how I do it. This systemized process that I came up with. And so that's when I started creating a course for it, because everybody kept asking me, how do you do it? 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 So I created the system and tried to teach people that first, as you know, Stacy, the first one's a brain dump. Our brain gets so full of information all day. Things just start banging around like, right? It's overwhelming. And if we can't put that somewhere, and start being productive with it, it's a challenge. And then we have to identify the hats we wear, because we all think, oh, I'm just doing this. But you're like, for me, a mom, I'm a cook, I'm a chauffeur, I am a business owner, I am a volunteer, I am we have all these jobs. And so we forget the pieces, and we wonder why we're running around like crazy, because we don't have enough time, because we're not thinking about how to coordinate things and how to group task things, which is, it's different than multitasking. It's your group tasking. You're doing things like errands, you do them all in one day, and you map out the way you're going to go, the easy way. It's like you can get those errands done in 4 hours that you've been spending 12 hours a week, because you go to the store and then you come back, and you go here and you come back, and you're not being productive because you're not thinking about it in advance. And so it's really just restructuring the way you think, not trying to conform your life into my schedule, but we come up with these non-negotiables of what times you have. If you have a standing doctor's appointment at 2 p.m. every Thursday, that's one of your non-negotiables. It's not mine, has nothing to do with me. It's your schedule. Your kid has soccer practice every Saturday at 8 a.m. That's one of your non-negotiables. And then we learn how to build and fill in the gaps at the rest. And that's what the course does. It breaks it up in little chunks where, as you know, I tell you, okay, I want you to work on this and then take a break. No, take a break. Don't.
And let me tell you, one, I can't lie here. When you go through this course, I'm guaranteeing it kicked up my productivity. I'm at like 4 times where I was a year ago. And I plan on being farther than that at some point. And I'm working on automating different things so that then it runs on its own. But I'm not going to lie and say that, oh, this class was beautiful. It was so fun. It was fun, but it was painful at the same time, because I was looking inside going, okay, what are the things, like you said, what are the things that really mean something to you? And it does there is some emotional, response to some of those things, and you go through. The brain dump I'd already started kind of doing some brain dump things and did that. But, the brain dump is imperative. You have got to get all that stuff out of your head so that you can have a decent 6 to 8 hours of sleep.
Right. Absolutely.
I love me my sleep. I love me my sleep. And everybody in the chat, everybody listening on the podcast, you only have 168 hours in the week. Vicky, right. You only have 168 hours, and what you do with them, you rock them, mama. But
thank you.
We each only get 168. And if you figure, and this is just for a rough, even though it's not right, if you figure 68 of them for sleep, eating, self-care-ish, and that, you've only got 100 left to do everything else with. Those of you who work a 40-hour 9-to-5 job, you use probably 50 hours. You use about half of that at least for work.
Mm-hmm.
You may also use a couple hours at night or on the way to work or whatever's thinking about work and worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do with the rest? You know, when you could rearrange some of that. And that's after the painful transition. And then I can't say that they're after that, then you kind of get, you're like, the light goes on and you're like, I get it. I see why this Rockstar thing works. I see why these putting it in this. And so Vicky has it where this class is analog or digital. So analog being write it on paper. Mm-hmm. You can see all behind Vicky over there. She's a paper girl. She's got her paper stuff, and she's very organized in that way. You see behind me a green screen so that you don't see what paper I do have in a mess behind me. And that I've struggled with that for a long time. So I knew I had to take what you gave me there, the gifts that you taught in that, and I had to make it digital. Mm-hmm. For several reasons. One, so it was accessible to me everywhere. I didn't have to worry about carrying it around. I could go and grab and look, where am I in my Rockstar day or not? So I've transitioned the Excel spreadsheets that Vicky did provide. There's worksheets out the wazoo that are awesome. There's worksheets and videos, and like the structure of it as an online course is just fun anyway. And as an online instructor, I really appreciated that. The taking the breaks as a social worker, I appreciated. You've got to stop and take breaks and introspect and see inside you and do that human part of things. And then so that you can create, because this whole thing, you're creating who you are by using the technology. And when I say technology there, I mean even the analog. I mean the writing. I mean, this course is almost its own technology. It's a productivity
You're kind
tool.
of stabilizing who you are, because we know, like, internally we have this idea,
Your heart knows.
Our energy is going all over the place, right? And so we're trying to kind of, dial it into what's productive for you, where your real goals and objectives are.
Because your heart does know where you want to go.
Right.
You may or may not be able to see it, but your heart knows where you want to go. Your head is all full of all this stuff, so you've got to dump it out of your head. Mm-hmm. And I still brain dump constantly. Mm-hmm. But I brain dump differently now. Last year it was brain dump everything I could think of for really probably even a week of just sitting there writing out stuff as it came out and then organizing it. The trick is the organizing it. So what Vicky may or may not know, and I'll put a picture of it in the show notes or in the chat after the show, is what I use a tool that I found a year ago and didn't like. And for me, usually I kind of love my technologies. I didn't really latch onto it. And now if Trello goes down, Stacy's in deep, deep doo-doo. Because Trello has become where I put everything. And the way I describe Trello to people is that if you've ever been to a conference or a training and you take a pad of sticky notes and you write down all your ideas, everybody's brain dumping and brainstorming at a table. And everybody writes one idea per sticky note, and you put that all on a wall, and you then organize it into what columns of things that are like each other. And then you start writing more on the sticky notes or whatever. That's kind of like a very primitive Trello board. Then take that and add Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter-ish Facebook maybe, and a bunch of automation. You can't put a YouTube video into a sticky note. You can put the YouTube video right where it's at into a Trello card. So like if I'm working on my Rockstar week and I got a project that I'm grabbing videos for, I can put all those in the card. I can put everything that goes with that project, the due date, the checklists, the links, the ideas I have in the middle of the night, all go straight into that card. Instead of brain dumping them somewhere else, I just type them in that card. If I make a phone call about that thing, I document it in that card. Everything for one project is in that one card. And then if somebody else is sharing the board with me, I can tag them. And they can put their stuff in. So it's for collaboration. It's amazing.
Yes.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself and give you guys too much here, because Trello in and of itself is, I understand that it's overwhelming to some people when they see it. Techy girl, I just get excited. I don't get overwhelmed with that kind of thing. I get all kinds of excited and start seeing possibilities. But other people get anxious about that, I understand. So, which is why I do what I call technology coaching now, which Vicky may not know that I'm doing. She doesn't know half the stuff I've worked on in the last 6 months.
You're dumping so much new stuff on me. I love it.
I disappeared for 6 months off of her radar, really. And I was like I had the squirrels were caged and I was working on them. So you cage these squirrels in these little cards, and then you go back and you work on one card until it's done. And then you work on one card until it's done, and you group everything. So like the Rockstar Guide is what got me there. I now have a Trello board that's called my Rockstar Daily Board. And it has a today list. It has a Sunday list, a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Things that are every Thursday go on the Thursday list. Things that are, and then there's lists for each segment of my life. So I have a list called bed, and no, it doesn't mean sleeping. It means business, education, and development. So it's my business, education, and development list. I have one that's teaching, social work, and supervision, which are like my day jobs. And each list has the things in it that go with there. And then when those are due for that day, I have an automation tool that automatically puts it into my today list for me. I have taken the Rockstar Guide, bumped it into Trello, and kicked the automation up. And you guys will see and hear a lot more of that because I'm working on some projects that are going to show you how to do it yourself.
Fantastic.
Eventually.
That's awesome.
So,
we use Trello for all my VAs and, for client work. So I do love Trello. I hadn't put, I have some daily lists for the girls, but that's a good idea to look at formatting that for the next version of it, maybe adding some things. We might have to collab on that.
I was going to suggest I'd be happy to collab on that.
I love
That's
it.
one thing I love about live video. Do you not? Yeah. I have not been able to hug Vicky in person. My understanding is I'm going to have to reach up when I do because you guys, you can't hear this on the podcast. You can't see this on the podcast. And those of you who can see her may or may not know how incredibly tall and regal this woman is.
Oh, I love pictures. That term. Yes, I'm
She's
regal. Thank
regal.
you.
I've seen pictures.
Right. Don't forget, darling.
Regal and, she inspired me to put makeup on today. Those of you who know me know, so now I'm not going on camera without my nails looking good, but I really don't have to have the rest of this stuff on.
Well, you look lovely, sweetheart. Yes, and I'm 6 foot tall for those of you who don't know. I'm a 6 foot tall redhead, so I do tend to stand out in a crowd.
So, when you don't want red mad at you. From what I have experienced, not Red's fury, but I have experienced Red's passion for passion included with the wisdom and going, Stacy, Stacy, like the little boy on the camera, on the thing, Linda, and it's no, Stacy, it's, you really need to think about this. And that's part of what got me it's definitely what got this where it is, I think having any kind of coach hear what you say you want your future to look like. Mm-hmm. They can see it in that 30,000 foot view.
Right.
And they know where the trail is to help you get there. Mm-hmm. And helping kind of nudge you and help you get along that path to where, and then if, then you drop off the map and they don't hear from you for a while because you're like, I'm going on down the trail, and they're like, where'd she go?
Where is she? As long as you're in good places, that's a wonderful thing.
And so, it's kind of cool to surface now and go, okay, Vicky, here's where I am and here's what's going on. And for you to be part of that. So what other thing, the Rockstar Guide was something big that I wanted to tell people about today. Can you tell me, how, maybe, can people get that from you? And
Absolutely.
I think Lindsay might help me out and maybe be able to put a link in the chat for me of where
Absolutely.
people can get that.
And I think she did put one, or somebody put one in, and definitely put it again. Well, they definitely can get it because, it's, first of all, it's on my website, VickiFitch.com, under the courses page. And I think Lindsay is going to put a link up. So thank you so much for that, Lindsay. My iPad just went out, so I can't see the comments. I'm going to try and get back on there.
I'm not even able to see the comments right now either. So
I will try and get back on there and then read some of them to you as well. But they can go to VickiFitch.com, VickiFitch.com/courses, and click on that. And then I also created a special discount code for your people. Yes,
a squirrely type code. No.
Yeah. So they can save $50, and it's art and app, right? ARTN.
So it's my hashtag, huh?
Yeah.
The hashtag for the show, you guys, if you don't know, is art, ARTN apps. So like you use the word N as a shortener for the word and. So art and apps, because we're talking in this show talks about creativity and technology, and art and apps are two of the things in that I love. So art and apps is our hashtag.
And just so you guys don't get that confused with adding extra letters, I just looked at it and I say artnapps with 2 P's. So
artnapps.
Artnapps with 2 P's.
Ooh, that sounds like taking a rest and a sleep. Ooh,
exactly. I love it.
Naps.
And so, just knowing that, and like I said, if you use that code, it's all lowercase letters, you'll save $50.
$50.
And
nice.
Yeah, $50. And because it is, honestly, as you know, you've taken it, it's a really powerful course. And the tagline for the course is, it will change your life if you let it. So, if people want to change, it will change their life. And that's what it's all about. I mean, if somebody had given me some of the tools that I provided to the community, I would have rocked things even faster than I did. And that's what it's all about, is that when people get together wanting to deliver value to other people, and having the right, vehicle to do that, it really does make a difference. So
that's so true, because I think, and just, it's interesting that we've brought up collaboration. I think just in general, I think that's one of the things that I love about live video. I said, I haven't ever hugged Vicki in person, but I feel like I know her as a not just an acquaintance online, not just somebody I know on Facebook, but as a friend, because we've had discussions, on camera, off camera. Yes, I had her as a coach, so she knows some things about me that are pretty deep. Like some of you I know do, and it's taking that human connection that we have in person, and the only thing you can't do right now in this space is literally touch each other. Right. I literally cannot touch you, but I can everything else. I can do this and give you my heart.
Absolutely.
And little things that we do with friends. And it's given us the space to do that. And then the collaboration magic that happened in the Blab space. Those of you who may know, is a year ago, there was a website that was going down at the time called Blab, blab.im. There's actually a new one now, and I'm hoping that the creator of it's going to be on the show sometime, because talk about being creative.
Right. She's awesome.
Kiki Shear. It's wekiki.party. And it bloomed so many amazing projects overall. Blab did. And Wekiki is kind of continuing that family of people in a social space, and probably will continue to bloom other things. But, so when Blab passed, when Blab passed, we didn't lose touch with each other. We all had these deep, these emotional connections. So we made sure we didn't lose each other, and we have shows on Facebook Live, and some people are still over on Periscope, which came out before that. And people are on, YouTube Live now, and there's just, we all follow each other everywhere. So it's this family that has then followed each other, and collaborating with various projects and learning things. And I wouldn't be where I'm sitting right now without the collaborations, tools, people that I met in that.
Right. Yeah, it was an amazing space. It really was.
And not just it, but I'm talking about like what happened since then too, is, just the, being able to watch with each other, like the tool I'm using to send this Facebook Live out today.
Mm-hmm.
I found literally last week, less than a week ago, on a show or a website, Facebook group called The Front Row. Is Jen Lehner. Lehner. Jen,
yes.
Jen, I mess up your last name.
That's
about
right.
as bad as Braiuca, right?
Right.
Jen Lehner. I love me some Jen. She's always got great tech things, and there's all these techies that like on the cutting edge, and it's like I found my family. They all know the cutting edge stuff. I love it.
I have to tell you, I met Jen at Social Media Marketing World. We got to meet in person for the first time, and her group is called The Front Row. She has to sit in the front row. Like, she's in the front row. No lie, no joke. I even got myself embarrassed because I was sitting with her and I had gotten caught outside, and it was Joel's thing. So I had to go all the way up and slide in the front row with her. And then she said something to me and I started laughing, and Joel stops his conversation and says, "Vicky, did you want to share with the room?" And I was like, I don't even remember what it was, but I said, well, she was making fun of me or something. I don't know. So it was something about
Would you like to share with the class?
Yeah. And I shared, and it was actually relevant to what he was talking about. So it was actually hysterical. Everybody started laughing. But yeah, Jen Lehner, she does sit in the front row. She is a crack up. She's such a
see, you wouldn't find me sitting in the front row. Even if Jen's sitting up there, I'd be like, Jen, I'll catch you later. I'm going to.
I hear you. Normally, I'm not sitting right in the front row, but anyway, it was fun. Fun.
Like even in college, I didn't have to sit in the front row to be the, and I think it's also a sight thing actually, but I don't want to act. You'll usually find me in the back, and even in a video cast or something, I'm not usually the one sitting here in the front.
Right.
I'm usually kind of in the back. I'm sending like funnies, I'll think of something funny, or I'll think of a relevant something to say, but I'm not usually sitting in the front. I'm usually kind of out over in the audience, either causing trouble or trying to help people out. Mostly trying to help people out, but I have been known to cause a little bit of trouble once in a while. Even in lots of places. So I love the fact that there's so much energy that has come out of all of that family space and the collaborations, and we still follow each other. You're meeting people in real life. I'm going to make it to California at some point and meet the whole California crew in real life.
Yeah.
But until then, we have Facebook Live and we have YouTube Live and we have Keys. We can go late night party in, and I just really, the more I like hang out with the people on the cutting edge, and then I have people in my real life saying, "How do you know about all these things?" And I'm like, it's just the people I'm hanging out with at 3 a.m.
Right. And then one of those is not me. I'm asleep at 3 a.m.
Yeah, Vicky's usually asleep, but the rest of us are, we're up.
So, I get up at 4:45, so I got to be in bed before 3 or I'm in deep trouble.
See, so she's like getting up right after I'm going to sleep.
Right.
Which is about the time my husband's getting up. He's a day person. He gets up early, has his coffee in the quiet. I stay up late and have my laughs and whatevers while he's snoring,
Love it.
in the background. And I think balance is a good thing no matter what you do in life.
Sure. Absolutely.
And that's also one of the things that I've been able to create more, even though I really, if I'm awake, I'm working. And that Rockstar Guide, I do still take breaks. And my social work babies know that one of the first things I teach them is, when is your next appointment with yourself? And I do take appointments with myself. I actually have one in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
In about 20 minutes, I'm going to have an appointment with myself and just chill out. But those happen usually after I have XYZ project done. I give myself a break. My life is much more fluid now. I can do things. I have control of when I'm going to do something. Somebody else, it's not always what someone else's control is.
Right.
Now, if I have, obligations aside, if I've made an obligation or I have a family obligation, those stay in cement in the calendar wherever they go. But that work life, the whole balance thing is so much better. And it's literally been, in a large part due to taking this tool, this one technological type productivity tool, and applying it, and then reapplying it. because I say, I kind of applied it at first, and then I reapplied it around December, and then about February, I reapplied it a third time and into the Trello boards, and that's when I kind of created that. I took everything I had, all the books, all the notebooks, all the paper, all the lists I had everywhere, and it's all in one place now.
Gotcha.
I love that. And it's all connected with each other, and like I can have a squirrel cage over here that's connected to the squirrel cage over there. And there are ways to connect them in Trello. So yes, I would love to collaborate on that, and I'd love to teach any of you how to do that. But first, I want to know how can people find Vicky? Mm-hmm. How can they find you?
Well, the best way, of course, on my website is VickiFitch.com. Again, it's VICKIFITCH.com. But I do live stream every day, typically at 6 p.m. Pacific time on both Periscope and Facebook Live. And so I deliver that value. And also I have my podcast on Monday nights and Wednesday nights that He Said, Red Said on Monday nights, and Wednesday nights is Vicky Fitch Live, A Fresh Perspective. And of course, as you know, the first Wednesday of the month is the Evict the Bully in Your Head series, because I have a new book coming out called Evict the Bully in Your Head. So, if they want to actually see me in action or ask questions, those are some really great platforms. And then, of course, if they want to, connect on the website, that's what I'd really love to do with them. So I can send them some free value and some free content and let them know, what things are coming up and that kind of stuff. I'd love to do.
Yeah, because here I was talking about the Rockstar Guide, and I didn't even tell you guys the beginning of that, where I found Vicky on this funny show she does called He Said, Red Said. Hilarious. I literally put that thing, I don't put TV shows on my calendar anymore, but for the longest time, and I still do, but sometimes I don't get to see it as often as I'd like now, but for the longest time, it was like Monday night at, it was like 9:00 my time, I think. 8:00 my time.
7:30 my Pacific, so it might have been 9:30.
So like 9:30. Monday, 9:30, it's He Said, Red Said. I'm going in and watching He Said, Red Said, and just crack up laughing, meeting new people and whatever. Then she keeps talking about this 20-minute free consultation she does. And I'm like, yeah, what can you do in 20 minutes? Really? Okay, whatever. What this woman thinks she can do in 20 minutes, but I liked her. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to see what she can do in 20 minutes. And then she blew me out of the water because she did like 2 hours worth probably or so of like finding out what Stacy Braiuca, who I was and what I did. And when I got on that 20-minute call with her, she told me stuff that I didn't even have to tell her what I did. She had all that together, and we started in on, okay, what do you want to do now? And then it went from there. And so if you guys are looking for 20 minutes of value, free, I mean, how much more value can you get than free? If you have 20 minutes on your calendar, and 20 minutes is what you would spend, like going to get a coffee or taking those of you who take breaks or whatever, you'd spend 20 minutes on a break of something. You'd spend more than 20 minutes watching a TV show.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Schedule 20 minutes with this woman. She will blow your mind.
Thank you. I really do try and do that to provide.
It's free. I mean, It's free. Now, you could also schedule 20 minutes with me. Actually, you can schedule 30 minutes for free with me of a technology coaching session or technology, kind of assessment and see where you're at with technology and what you might need help with, because I do love teaching people about technology. And if you go to Cre8tivConnections.com, Cre8tiv Connections.com, you'll see the podcast. And just below in that, you'll see where you can make an appointment for a 30-minute session with me for free. And we can talk about what things what things in talking make you frustrated. Oh, wait, no, we're talking about you, not what I just did. We can talk about what things in technology frustrate you. Or if there was an app, what would it look like, or what would you want it to do? And we can start that journey of what kind of technology can help you. Because that's one of the things I love doing, and I'd love to be able to help people with.
Absolutely.
So, and I know I've actually given Vicky some little technological stuff here and there, just because, or I'll find something new and shoot it to her.
Absolutely. So, you're a tech wizard.
I love me my tech, and I love helping people create their life and create their life in a more automate the things that aren't human. Automate everything else so that you can hug somebody or you can have a video meeting with them and you can have that human thing. So you automate everything else so that you can spend the time with the humans.
Right.
It's not that I want to be on my technology all the time. It's to automate it so that I can do
I call that high tech to allow you to be high touch. So, you know, that's, I do the same kind of thing because as a certified partner with Infusionsoft, trying to help people build those funnels and trying to create an opportunity where what they're reaching out for is the connection part. And so let technology do the part, like you said, that doesn't have to be human. So you can really reach out. So let high tech allow you to be high touch.
Yeah. And if you're not a techie person, that's totally understandable. And what you want to do is, and I call it automation to liberation.
There you go.
So you automate to liberate. So you automate things so that it liberates your time, your attention, and your, you know, things. So more about that at some point. And you'll see some things about that. Follow me at Stacy Braiuca on social media, and I'll up my video that I'm going to have to give some shout outs here, Vicky. So if you bear with me, I've got some extra thank yous this week. One to you again for, you know, and I would love to have you back whenever you want. You come back, interview or not, come back and help me talk tech, or if you have a tech issue and you want to help me, you want me to help figure it out, or whatever, I'd love to have you back. I've got Lindsay Badger sitting in the wings helping with some links and such today. I really appreciate Lindsay helping me get some things prepared and all that. My friend Kat, for the inspiration, she gave this show Cre8tive Connections its name. And then to my dad, Scott McBee, for the original music that you're going to hear in a little bit. My amazingly talented and supportive brother, Scotty McBee of Upper Deck Studios, who helped put together the intro you saw, who helped put together the end. The music in the intro was his music, so Scotty McBee, and thank you to Max Berry of Enneagram Records, also for their permission for that, permission to use that song. To Joe, Lindsay, Cliff, and Q, and the other late night gravy crew. You guys know who you are, and you know why you're thanked.
That's hilarious.
There's some late night blab family that get together, and we've become really good friends, and they have helped me with many things through the 6 months that you didn't see me, Vicky. My upcoming amazing guests that you're going to meet in this series, my family and friends for being supportive, even when they said, "What are you doing? I don't understand. What is this?
Right.
And what are you going to do with it?" So, my name's Stacy Braiuca. You can follow me at StacyBraiuca on almost all social media channels. And you can get this podcast at Cre8tivConnections on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, Google Play, and TuneIn Radio. As well as it should be on my, it'll be on my website, and it'll be on YouTube eventually. I have loved even the fun and blooper part of this debut broadcast to bring geeks and creatives together all over the world, one podcast at a time. And if you guys listen in the at the end here, you're going to hear about a website, Cre8tivConnections.tech. There is some really cool software. Vicky, I haven't even told you about this yet. There's really
so much I don't know, apparently.
There's really cool software. So we're sponsored by a software called InstaSocial, and it helps you get niche your engagement with your Instagram people. It helps increase your following. It tripled my following on the Cre8tive Connections Instagram the first week that account was up.
Wow.
It has doubled it again, I think, since then by itself.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I set that, again, automate and liberate. So I automated it. It's doing some of its things in the background, but it's also allowing me to you don't automate everything. You still want to have your touch. So I still see and do things. You can also schedule out stories.
Gotcha.
And posts. So you can schedule posts out through Instagram, but you can also schedule out stories. And it's the only software I know of that can do that.
Gotcha.
So you can get it monthly. You can get it yearly. You can get a lifetime subscription to it. It also hooks up with Shopify, Amazon, and AliExpress.
Wow.
And there's just cool stuff. So go over to Cre8tivConnections.tech to find out more about it.
Awesome.
And next week, so, I start a podcast, and then next week I'm going to go remote. So I'm going to go rogue my second week. First week, figure out the tech stuff. Second week, figure it out again because I'm rogue. So next week, may not be on Facebook Live. It may actually be on YouTube Live next week, depending on what technology I have. I will post information here on this Facebook page as to where it'll be. But I'm going to be live from the first robotics competition, international competition in St. Louis, Missouri. And I don't know what I'm going to bring you yet. I just know that's what's going to happen. Then the week after that, I'm going to have somebody helping show off May the 4th Be With You and Trello. And that is our own Miss Lindsay Badger. Miss Badges is going to come hang out in Trello with me. So we're going to show off that to you guys and see what you think.
Fantastic.
So I appreciate you, Vicky. Appreciate your time. And you guys go check her out on Monday night, 7:30 Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook.com/VickyFitch1.
Mm-hmm.
And subscribe to that, follow her there, and you'll get notifications for all of her shows. She's got that all set up so you get notified, so you can put it on your calendar and everything and follow her. And then A Fresh Perspective on Wednesday nights, and you will learn something, and you will meet people that are going through things in their life that you would not believe. You will connect with people in the audience who are hilarious, like Doc Muscles. Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm actually seeing some of the chat. I just see that Stephen Caggiano's there, Tanika, Mary Rose, my cousin Forrester, my mom. I don't see who else has been there, but I've seen some of the chat.
Stacy Lynn Harp is or was, and yeah.
See my chat. You can see the chat with Ecamm Live.
Gotcha.
But I think maybe because of the glitches I had, I might not be able to see all of it right now. So I am going to show you guys the wonderful video that my brother did. Like I said, between Vicky and my brother and my dad, the music you're going to hear at the end is a song by my dad, who passed away in 1995. And the song is a recording that my brother did of my dad's song, but the song is from 1974. And so it has a really special place. Both songs have a really special place in my heart. And I was really glad to be able to use those things in something I'm creating. So I think using things that mean something to you are important, even if you've got to tweak the music a little bit.
Right.
So I'm going to play that end and let you guys hear a little bit more about the music and where it came from. And I will see you next week, hopefully, from St. Louis.
Well, thanks again for inviting me, and I appreciate it. I think I hear a little echo, so I'll just be quiet. But you're awesome. I appreciate being on the broadcast, and I look forward to watching your show each week.
Thank you. I will appreciate seeing you in the audience, and hopefully I'll have, as the weeks go on, I'm going to figure out which, it just goes to show you, as a tech girl, that doesn't mean you're not going to have tech issues.
True.
It's just how you deal with them.
Amen.
And, anybody has tech issues and can do things. So
absolutely.
You just roll with it. It's all good.
Well, I can't wait to hear that outro.
All right. Thank you so much, Vicky.
Thank you for participating in our podcast today. You can find Stacy at Stacy Braiuca on any social media channels. Support us with your purchases in our tech shop, Cre8tivConnections.tech. Music courtesy of Enneagram Records, Scotty McBee, Upper Deck Studios, and Scott McBee. We appreciate their creativity, originality, and sponsorship of the show. Find the intro song Brooklyn and 59 in iTunes using the link in our show notes below. Our podcast website is Cre8tivConnections.com. Thank you from Creative Connections, bringing creatives and geeks together all over the planet, one tiny podcast at a time. If you are listening on your favorite podcast website, come by and check out our previous episodes on our websites. See you next week at 2 p.m. Central for the next Creative Connections.